Welcome to Hari Chemistry. Today our topic is colligative properties. Okay, so what we will learn in these colligative properties? What is colligative property and what are the importance of colligative properties and what are the conditions for a colligative property and what are the types of colligative properties? Is it clear, student? Okay, so then we will move to the what is colligative properties. Okay, so what is colligative property? In dilute solutions which contain a non-volatile solute, it exhibit special properties. These special properties which depends upon the number of solute particles present in the solution irrespective of their nature. So these properties we can termed as colligative properties. So means the colligative properties depends on only the number of solute particles present in the solution, not depends on their structure and the nature of solution. Is it clear, student? So that is colligative property. Okay, so for example, we will take a glass vessel. The glass vessel contains 1 molar KCl solution. The glass vessel contains 1 molar KCl solution. And take another glass vessel. So it contains 2 molar concentration of urea. Okay. So the first vessel is present 1 molar of KCl solution and the second vessel fills with 2 moles of urea. So here the KCl is dissociate into K plus and Cl minus ion. So means here it dissociate into 2 moles of ions. 2 moles of ion. So means 1 mole is equal to 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 ion. So that is equal to 12 into approximately, that is 12 into 23, 12 into 10 to the power of 23 ions will be present. So here the 2 moles of urea. So 2 moles of 2 molar solution of urea means nothing but 2 moles molecules of urea. So 1 mole is equal to, we know very well, student, that is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. That is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 23. Here urea is a non-electrolyte. It is a non-electrolyte. So means it cannot further dissociate into ions, but it is only dissolved in water. So it cannot further splits into ions or it cannot dissociate into ions. So therefore there is no ions present in the solution. Okay. So that is equal to approximately 12 into 10 to the power of 23 molecules, urea molecules will be present in the solution. Is it clear? So means here both the solutions are having 12 into 23 power 10 to the power of 23 ions. So therefore the colligative properties depends on only the number of solute particles present in the solution, not their nature and structure of the solution. That is it clear, student? Okay, right. So colligative properties are for the determination of molecular mass, determination of molecular mass of dissolved solutes means non-volatile solutes. So the importance of colligative property is, student, so to determine the molecular mass of dissolved solutes. Okay, that is the importance of colligative property. Next, the next point is the conditions for colligative property. So simply I am writing as a CP. CP means colligative properties. The conditions for colligative property, student, the first property is the solute should be non-volatile. The solute should be non-volatile. The first point is the solute should be non-volatile. That is very, very important. The second point is the solute cannot be dissociate and associate in the solution. The third point is the solution should be very dilute. The solution should be very dilute. So these are the conditions of colligative property. The first point is, student, the solute should be non-volatile. Whatever the solute we are adding, the solute should be non-volatile. So already we have discussed what is non-volatile. Non-volatile means the solute should be non-volatile. The solute should be non-volatile. So what is non-volatile, students? Non-volatile means the substances which are having low vapor pressure and high boiling point. So these substances comes under non-volatile solute. Okay, so non-volatile solute. So what are the examples for non-volatile solute, student? So non-volatile solutes. Examples are sugar and salts. So sugar and salts are the best examples for non-volatile solute. So what is non-volatile solute? Means nothing but the substances which are having low vapor pressure and high boiling temperature are non-volatile solute, student. Is it clear, student? So then we will move to the what are types of colligative properties. The first colligative property is lowering in vapor pressure. So the first point is lowering in vapor pressure. So that is we can termed as LVP, lowering in vapor pressure. The second colligative property is elevation in the boiling point. Okay, so the third one is depression in the freezing point. The fourth one and last one is osmotic pressure. So these are the four colligative properties we will discuss one by one. Okay, student, right? So remember, students, the note point osmosis, comma, diffusion, boiling point, freezing point, and vapor pressure are not colligative properties. Okay, clear, student? So diffusion, osmosis, boiling point, elevation in boiling point is colligative property, not boiling point is colligative property, and freezing point and vapor pressure are not colligative property. That is very, very important, student. Okay, lowering in vapor pressure. Okay, so before we are going to learn lowering in vapor pressure, so first of all we will learn the concept of vapor pressure. So what is vapor pressure? The vapor pressure means vapor pressure we can define as the pressure is exerted by vapors on the surface on the liquid. So means the pressure exerted by vapors on the liquid. So that is called as a vapor pressure. Clear, student? Right. So I'll write the definition. Vapor pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the vapors on liquid. So that is called as vapor pressure. So here we will see, we'll explain the vapor pressure in diagrammatically. So that is, here it is a closed vessel. So here we have take some water. It has some atmospheric pressure. So we are giving flame. We are heating by using some external flame. So when it reaches 100 degrees temperature, so the water, when it reaches 100 degrees temperature, the water becomes boil. So if the water becomes boil, so the liquid is converted into vapor. So means the liquid is converts into vapor. So when these vapors cannot move outside, so because it is a closed containers, so these vapors can move to the upward direction when it reaches to the vessel lid, and then it come back. So when it come back down to the liquid side, can come back to the water, so it exerted some pressure. By the vapors. So these vapors, so exerted by some pressure, so we can call it as vapor pressure. Is it clear, student? So the pressure exerted by vapors on the liquid, so that is called as vapor pressure. Okay, clear, student? So then we will move to the, so generally and one more thing, student. So the vapor pressure decreases, the surface area occupied. Vapor pressure decreases the surface area occupied by the solvent molecules decreases. So therefore density increases. Clear, student? So the surface area occupied by the solvent molecule decreases, the vapor pressure will be decreases. So means so the solvent molecules occupied the less surface area, so the vapor pressure becomes decreases. So if lowering in vapor pressure means nothing but, student, when we are adding a non-volatile solute, to the solvent, so therefore the vapor pressure of solution will be decreases. This phenomena is called as lowering in vapor pressure. So here we will take a pure solvent, so we can term as P naught. So P naught is a pure solvent. So P naught is a pure solvent. We are adding solute. We are adding a non-volatile solute. So when we are adding a non-volatile solute to the pure solvent, the vapor pressure of the solution will be decreases. That is called as lowering in vapor pressure. So the lowering in vapor pressure, LVP, is equal to P naught minus PS. So P naught means nothing but the vapor pressure of pure solvent, and the PS means the vapor pressure of solution. So clear, student? So P naught is equal to vapor pressure of pure solvent. Clear, student? So P naught is equal to vapor pressure of pure solvent. Ps is equal to vapor pressure of solution. Vapor pressure of solution. So therefore, what is meant by lowering in vapor pressure, students? And also the lowering in vapor pressure, so that is the difference between the vapor pressure of pure solvent and the vapor pressure of solution. So we can call it as lowering in vapor pressure. So the lowering in vapor pressure, that is equal to delta P, that is equal to P naught minus P. Clear, student? So that is lowering in vapor pressure. So what is relative lowering in vapor pressure? So RLVP. So relative lowering in vapor pressure is nothing but, student, so that is the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure, the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure, and vapor pressure of pure solvent, that is called as, that is P naught, and this is delta P. So the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure delta P and vapor pressure of pure solvent, that is called as relative lowering in vapor pressure. So therefore relative lowering in vapor pressure is equal to, that is lowering, it is the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure and the vapor pressure of pure solvent, or we can write as P naught minus Ps by P naught, that is equal to, so relative lowering in vapor pressure. Okay, clear, student? So relative lowering in vapor pressure means, student, so that is the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure and vapor pressure of the pure solvent, that is relative lowering in vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure is that is the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure and the vapor pressure of pure solvent, that is, student, so P naught minus Ps by P naught. Okay, so generally here the vapor pressure of pure solvent is greater than vapor pressure of solution. So means the vapor pressure of pure solvent is higher than the vapor pressure of solution. So because why the vapor pressure of pure solvent is greater, because means when we are adding a non-volatile solute to the pure solvent, so the non-volatile solute molecules in the surface, it blocks a fraction of surface where no evaporization of solvent molecule takes place. Means here it restricts. So the rate of evaporization of solvent molecules decreases. So means the pure solvent, the rate of evaporization is more. When we are adding a non-volatile solute to the solvent, so these non-volatile solute molecules can block the surface, so it restricts the evaporization of solvent molecule. So therefore the rate of evaporization is higher than the solution. So that means the vapor pressure of pure solvent is greater than the vapor pressure of solution. Okay, clear, student? So P naught greater than P. When a solution is prepared by mixing of solvent A and solute B. So here we are preparing, when a solution is prepared by mixing of solute B and solvent A. Clear, student? So we are preparing a solution is mixing of solute B and solvent A. So here the solvent and solute is mixing up. Here it forms a solution. Okay, clear, student? So the mole fraction of solvent A and the mole fraction of mole fraction of solute B is equal to 1. So we know very well, student, and we will write xb is equal to 1 minus xa. Okay, clear, student? So xb is equal to the xa will comes this side and it is equal to 1 minus xa, student. So here we are applying Raoult's law, student. Okay, so what is Raoult's law? States that according to the Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of any non-volatile component of a solution at a constant temperature is equal to the mole fraction of component in the solution is multiplied by the vapor pressure of that component is in pure state. So that is equal to Pa is equal to, so that is multiplication means here it is multiplied by the mole fraction into the vapor pressure of pure state. So that is equal to Pa is equal to Xa into P naught A. So this is Raoult's law. Okay. So here we will write XA is equal to, we will write in the form of PA by P naught A. So XA is equal to, we will write as PA by P naught A. So we will substitute XA into this equation, that is equal to XB is equal to 1 minus PA by P naught A. So here P naught A minus PA by P naught A. So it represents the relative lowering in vapor pressure. So this is equal to, we will write as delta P by P naught A. So that is equal to relative lowering in vapor pressure. So what is relative lowering in vapor pressure? So that is it is the lowering, the ratio of lowering in vapor pressure and the vapor pressure of pure solvent, that is equal to relative lowering in vapor pressure, that is equal to delta P by P naught A, delta P by P naught A. Okay, clear, student? So here we are substituting XA according to the Raoult's law. XA is equal to PA by P naught A. So we will substitute XA into this equation, that is XB is equal to 1 minus PA by P naught A. P naught is cross multiplication with 1. So P naught A minus P by PA by P naught A, that is equal to delta P by P naught A. So this is a relative lowering in vapor pressure. Relative lowering in vapor pressure. Okay, clear, student? So therefore delta P by P naught is equal to XP. So that is equal to XP. So that means the mole fraction of a solute. Okay, clear, student? So what is mole fraction, students? The number of moles of solute particles, the number of moles of solute particles, that means here we will write NB. So or we will write NB. So that is equal to the number of moles of solute particles and is the ratio of the number of moles of solute particles and the total number of moles of solute and solvent in the solution, or the total number of moles of solution, that is equal to Na plus Nb. Na plus Nb. So Nb is the number of moles of solute divided by the total number of moles of solution. In solution, what is present, student? The number of moles of solute and the number of moles of solvent. Okay, clear, student? So here generally for dilute solution, the number of moles when we compare to the solvent molecules is very less. So means here the value, the number of moles of solute molecules is negligible when we compare to the number of moles of solvent molecule. So therefore we will write delta P by P naught is equal to NB by NA student. So here what is NB student? Number of moles of solute particles divided by number of moles of solvent. So that is equal to delta P by NB by NA student. Okay, clear student? Right. So what is NB students? We will write NB is equal to number of moles. NB is equal to student number of moles of solute particles. Number of moles of solute particles, where Na is equal to number of moles of solvent particles or solvent molecule student. Okay, so we will write NB is equal to number of moles is equal to nothing but student weight of solute divided by molecular mass of solute. So NB is equal to weight of solute, so small w, divided by molecular mass or molecular weight of solute. So that is equal to yeah, molecular weight or molecular mass, that is equal to yeah. So Na is equal to weight of solute, weight of solvent. So we will write in capital letter students. So that is a capital W. So divided by molecular mass of solvent. Molecular mass of solvent or molecular weight of solvent, that is equal to capital M. So we will substitute NB and Na into this equation. So that is equal to delta P by P naught is equal to small w by small m divided by capital W by capital M. Okay, clear student? After simplification, delta P by P naught is equal to small w by small m into capital M by capital W. So that is the formula for relative lowering in vapor pressure, that is equal to delta P by P naught is equal to small w by small m into capital M by capital W. So here we are going to find out, according to the colligative property, here we are going to find out the molecular masses of non-volatile solutes. So here we are going to find out molecular masses of non-volatile solutes. So equal to, we will write, that is the molecular masses of non-volatile solute. M is equal to, so that is P naught by delta P into small w by capital W into M. So here where M is the molecular masses of non-volatile solute and P naught is the vapor pressure of pure solvent, and so this is the difference between the vapor pressure of pure solvent and vapor pressure of solution. Okay student, clear? So small w is the weight of non-volatile solute and capital W is the weight of pure solvent and capital M is the weight of molecular masses of pure solvent. Okay, so by using this formula student, we will calculate the molecular masses of non-volatile solutes. Okay, clear student? Right. Thank you.